Dear Zonshans, partners, and Zonta friends. As president of Zonta International, I had the privilege of visiting Mozambique, Africa, together with Shannon Riley, programs and events manager at Zonta headquarters, to witness firsthand the impact of Climate Empower project, Zonta's international service project implemented in partnership with UNFPA and supported by a Zonta commitment of $1 million during this biennium. The program operates in Madagascar, Mozambique, and South Sudan in Africa. This initiative, running from 2024 to 2026, operates at the critical intersection of climate resilience and gender equality. Its aim is not only to mitigate the effects of climate change, but to empower women and girls as leaders, decision makers, and innovators in building resilience within their communities. Through this program, Zonta contributes to preventing climate-induced gender-based violence and harmful practices by strengthening community capacity, advancing social norms change, and supporting women and girl-led innovation. The project recognizes that climate change disproportionately impacts women and girls, disrupting access to health service, education, and livelihoods, and therefore places their leadership at the center of sustainable, community-driven solutions. Mozambique is a southeastern African nation of over 36 million people with a young and rapidly growing population. The capital, Maputo, is a vibrant coastal port city of over 1 million inhabitants and serves as the country's political, economic, and cultural hub, while Bemba, in the northern Cabo Delgado province, is a fast-growing coastal city at the front line of both climate impacts and humanitarian challenges. The country is currently navigating a complex political environment following the 2024 general elections. President was inaugurated in January 2025 after a contested election, and the months that followed were marked by significant protests, civil unrest, and calls for political reform. While efforts toward dialogue and stabilization are ongoing, these developments highlight the broader challenges the country faces alongside climate vulnerability. Mozambique is among the countries most vulnerable to climate shocks. Frequent cyclones, floods, and droughts have become part of everyday life, particularly in regions such as Cabo Delgado, where Bemba, where we visited, is located, in addition to the capital city Maputo. These climate-related events do not occur in isolation. They amplify existing inequalities and disproportionately affect women and girls, increasing risks such as gender-based violence, early marriage, and barriers to accessing healthcare and education. Maputo, the vibrant capital in the south, reflects both the promise and pressures of a developing nation navigating climate uncertainty. In contrast, Bemba, in northern Mozambique, stands at the front line of climate impact, where communities face repeated cyclones and displacement. Across the country, the reality is clear. Climate change is not an abstract future threat. It is already reshaping lives, livelihoods, and opportunities today. The Climate Empower project recognizes this reality. It is designed around community-driven empowerment, placing women and girls at the center of climate solutions. Through youth forums, innovation hack labs, and mentorship programs, it equips communities with tools to prevent climate-induced gender-based violence and to build sustainable, locally driven responses. What struck me most profoundly during this visit was the undeniable truth that the people of Mozambique are already living with climate change. It is not something anticipated. It is something endured daily. One moment in particular remains deeply with me. We stood in the yard of a health center that had been destroyed by a cyclone. The building was still there, but only in form, without a roof, without windows, without a floor. It could no longer serve its purpose. It could no longer protect life, and yet life continued around it. Nearby stood a simple tent provided by UNFPA. Inside, nurses continued their work, meeting patients as best as they could under these challenging conditions. On that day, most of those waiting for care were mothers with young children or women expecting to give birth, some of them very, very young themselves. This image is impossible to forget. It represents, in the clearest possible way, the intersection of climate change and women's and girls' rights. When infrastructure collapses due to climate disaster, it is women and girls who bear the heaviest consequences. Reduced access to health services, increased vulnerability, and heightened risk to their safety and dignity. I found myself wishing that everyone who still questions climate change, or who has not yet fully grasped its profound connection to the rights and lives of women and girls, could have stood there with me. Not to convince through argument, but to understand through witnessing. Because in that moment, no explanation was needed. The reality spoke for itself. Climate change is not only an environmental issue, it's a human rights issue. It's a matter of health, safety, equality, and opportunity. It shapes whether a girl can go to school, whether a woman can access maternal care, and whether a community can recover from yet another disaster. Another important reflection from the site visit relates to the role of institutions and the importance of continued capacity strengthening. It was encouraging to witness the strong collaboration between UNFPA and local government authorities. These partnerships are essential for ensuring that initiatives such as Climate in Power are locally anchored, sustainable, and aligned with national priorities. The openness to cooperation and dialogue was evident throughout our meetings and interactions. At the same time, the visit also highlighted that there is still a need for continued investment in awareness, education, and capacity building at all levels. As climate change rapidly reshapes realities on the ground, local governments and authorities are also on a journey of adaptation. Strengthening understanding of the interconnected nature of climate change, gender equality, and health, gender-based violence, particularly among those responsible for service delivery, will further enhance that effectiveness and reach of these efforts. By deepening this shared understanding, local systems will be even better equipped to respond to the needs of their people and to translate strong partnerships into tangible, lasting results for women and girls. At the same time, this visit was not only about witnessing challenges, it was also about recognizing resilience and possibility. One of the most inspiring aspects of the visit was the opportunity to engage with young people through the Climate in Power Youth Forum sessions. This was continuity for the Youth Forum held in 2025. It was truly encouraging to see so many young women and girls, also men and boys, coming together with genuine interest in finding solutions and addressing the challenges their communities face. The diversity within the group was particularly noteworthy. The session included not only youth from different backgrounds, but also participants with disabilities, including hearing-impaired young people. Their presence and active participation served as a powerful reminder that inclusive approaches are essential if we are to build resilient and equitable societies. The discussions reflected both promise and opportunity. While it was evident that there is still work to be done in strengthening understanding of broader environmental issues, such as everyday practices related to waste management, as well as in deepening knowledge of the specific drivers and implications of climate change, the enthusiasm and commitment of these young people stood out clearly. Most importantly, the session convened hope. The willingness of young people to learn, to question, and to seek solutions together is a strong foundation for the future. With continued guidance, education, and support, this generation has the potential not only to adapt to climate challenges, but to lead the transformation toward more sustainable and just communities. Through the Climate in Power project, I saw how communities are not only surviving, but actively seeking solutions. From youth discussions identifying local priorities to innovate, to ideas addressing climate risks, the energy and commitment are remarkable. However, one message was equally clear. Communities are ready to move beyond dialogue. They are seeking practical tools, tangible support, and pathways to turn ideas into action. This is where Climate in Power becomes so powerful. It's not only about arriving with answers, but about listening, including all voices and co-creating solutions. It provides the framework through which communities can build resilience on their own terms, ensuring that responses are sustainable, inclusive, and meaningful. Our visit to Mozambique reinforced a simple but urgent truth. Climate change is already here, and its impacts are profoundly unequal. But it also reinforced something equally important. When women and girls are empowered, they are not only among the most affected, they are among the most powerful agents of change. Standing in that village, between a totally ruined health center and a functioning dent, I was reminded that resilience is not built from structures alone. It's built from people, from courage, and from the determination to continue, even in the face of loss. Through Climate in Power, we have the opportunity and the responsibility to stand with these communities, to amplify their voices, and to ensure that as the climate changes, the rights and dignity of women and girls remain non-negotiable. Thank you, UNFPA and their teams in the US, regional team in Africa, and local teams in Madagascar, Mozambique, and South Sudan for carrying out this important project this biennium. Thank you, Shannon, for the company for the site visit and few good giggles. And all Zomtians who are interested in climate justice and have made donations to the International Service Fund at our foundation for this biennium. You are making a difference. With the climate change, the future is already here, and we need to act and be involved in finding solutions for gender-responsive decision-making and actions. Thank you.